when we have those winners, it also means that because today is the last day of January, all the monies that you couldn't get, how broke you were, you get money credited into your mobile money account. Cash Money Cookies right here had been monitoring the appointment committee in Parliament session and a grilling session with Samnati George, who is the nominee for the Ministry of Communication to be the minister, if approved. It wasn't an easy thing to watch yesterday. Apenyo Markin as well, the minority leader in the thick of affairs. I'm saying good morning to all of you who are watching us right here. We'll do some quick introductions and we tend to give you the conversations right here. Chairman Kwesi Taylor, good morning to you. I wish you all the best for the day. Great man, great man. Bruce Foucault, many of you watching us. And those who want to see us, we say that. Let me just do some quick introduction of our guest this morning. Just sitting close by me is Professor Enoch Entry. He's a regular right here on the channel. Professor Enoch Entry is a governance expert, also a political analyst, and a great man. If you listen to him, we're both in blue, because we love blue, I suppose.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
You're a Chelsea fan?
I'm blue.
Fantastic, man. Me too. Me too. Today, the phrase today is me too. Me too. Me too.
Yes, Roland, I'm thrilled to be here.
Thank you.
It's a national service to always be here to talk about issues, national issues of common interest and importance. And it's good that we are talking about some of these issues because we need to educate our citizens about what is going on and then the way forward for this country. Great,
great. And then also Ebo Backman, and he's also here, not only with the movement of change, but also he is a marketing management expert as well, of course, a politician. So when they are politicians, we don't tend to look at their expertise and experience. We always talk about movement for change, etc. But they bring a lot of knowledge and experience to bear. Mr. Backman, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Roland.
Great.
Let me say this, that to be here is a privilege, you know. To have the opportunity to speak to Ghanaians concerning issues that pertain to life is quite important. So I always find it exciting to be here. And I believe today we are going to have a very fruitful discussion concerning our dear country, Ghana.
Fantastic. And then also I have my referee for the day. When he's talking, I barely interject, and that is lawyer Kwame Jantwa. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
How are you?
But both of you, so it's only the foreign teams you like. I thought you.
No. I'm a Kumasi Asante Kotoko fan. I mean, for the local.
You didn't say it then. You both said blue, Chelsea.
I support only two teams.
Local content.
I support only two teams.
Local content.
And Barcelona.
Let's love our country. Let's love our country small.
Okay, we do love our country.
And when we say the foreign one, let's say Ghana too small.
Right. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been doing what we do.
There are people watching us, children watching us. They're learning from us. Like they are learning from parliamentarians.
You see,
I'm also Kwame, be careful.
But for all those who tend to watch us, we're grateful. And for those who have joined us, we also again have to remind you, *439#, the short code for cash out. Please, should be your short code today. Choose option 8 because we have the mega jackpot, 4,000 Ghana cedis for each of the draws today. By the time we end at 8:50 and then we get ready for today's session of the appointment committee, well, we're told by the grapevine that Samuku Jetua Ablakwe session with the vetting committee will be for 12 hours. We'll see how that goes. Knowing that what happened yesterday, even your social media clippings could be couched and played on video as well, your comments. So please be very mindful, just in case you want to become members of parliament one day. You never know. As for me, I don't know what there will be, when, if I should be a member of parliament, what will happen. So please make sure that you share the stream. For those who have joined us on the stream, let me just mention a couple of you. Please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations already. Already we're at 1,100. Please increase the stream so that we'll get to know. Nelson Akotia, you've joined us as well. Aaron, you've also joined us. Share the link. Reminds me of NSPPD. Share the link, Jerry Eze, and Mani Nimani. All those who have joined us this morning, we're grateful. It's the birthday of some great people. John Terry Molaja, you're celebrating your birthday. Kwame Osebonsu in Inshire, so you're celebrating your birthday. Great watchers of the show, we're grateful. And then also John Bosco Akotia, regular watcher of the show. Happy birthday to you. Julia Hutchinson, who works with Snits. Love you too much. I wish you all the best for the day as well. But look, this is what transpired in Parliament. Very shocking, at least when it comes to the appointment committee. Not shocking for us who tend to watch Parliament in terms of how they behaved in the last Parliament. And these are the scenes. We'll just take you through because at the end of the day, these are the pictures that scenes there. Chaotic. We covered it live as well. A lot of chaos. So behind this chaos, yeah, the tables being... There's a particular video, though, where we have Frank Anodom praise table no so no say they should turn it over. I don't really know. I don't know. I think that, yeah. Okay, sound up.
Oh, come on!
We know that the gentleman, the Member of Parliament for Insawa Madruji, who had been the center of the Buhaha with legal practitioner and then also the CEO for the Petroleum Commission, lawyer Fahad Castle, Ni Abla Baita, was at the center of the Muntutu table. Can we have that? Then we'll look at the aftermath. Because after all this, they left a very destroyed table for the appointments committee. So these gadgets that they speak through, the intercom, or how do they call it, the microphone that they speak through, that has been well networked. So these are some of the things. Yeah. So the previous one, Mututu table Ninyina, I want to hear that one. It sounds good in the ear from a member of Parliament. I mean, sarcastically, really. Very interesting things. Muntutu table Ninyina. Frank Anodom pray aka Muntutu table Ninyina.
state property. For them. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Frank Anodon, Member of Parliament for Nsoam Adroje, aka Muntutu Table Ninyina. Very interesting there. But please make sure you share the stream. Let's have some great call. What do you make of the scenes from Parliament yesterday? And then also for you having your members of Parliament behaving the way they did, destroying, even in the video you could hear they say state property. I don't know what you make of it, but Professor Pokuintwi, I mean, you have lived in the United States, you've taught at some of the prestigious universities as far as concerned. You're a regular commentator, analyst of our political governance and transparency scene. And to have a repeat of these consistently by leading members of Parliament, is that worrying or not?
It is more than worrying, Roland. And it's so sad that from simple psychology, children developed from the age of 2 to 3. That's their developmental stages. And any 2-year-old or 3-year-old can see their dad or mom on TV and say, that's my daddy, that is my mommy. For children to be watching and for us to showcase this, the same thing we showcased during the 8th Parliament. You know, we had the longest of the 8th Parliament. We thought that the 9th Parliament was going to be something different. Now we have destroyed microphones, destroyed tables, chaos. And then the question is, who is going to pay for all these? And who is even going to hold them accountable? Because they are all supposed to be, in quote, honorable men and women. But what they did was highly dishonorable. Highly dishonorable. Let me put it this way. We need cool heads to prevail in our parliament. Who are you? We are ready to die. And all that must stop. Because we are not here to defend our political parties. I need to educate people here. 65% of all employment, people that we hire, depends on the kind of people we appoint. So the success of any organization depends on the hiring process, 65%. If you are hiring somebody, I don't know what kind of interview session or vetting session that they are doing. I've looked at the standing orders they're talking about. Do we form quorum? Are we constituted? Yes. If you are constituted and then you form a quorum, I think that the chair should set up at most 2 hours for the interview process to go on. Timing has been an issue. Our vetting is unstructured. So they need a lot of human resources training. You just can't come and
I don't understand. They need?
Yes, they do. Our parliamentarians need human resource management training. Because if you are vetting somebody for a job, it is not about defending your political party. You are looking for a fit. And then 2 words, fairness and balance. So you see somebody who came for less than 10 minutes. Another person came for 5 hours, 10 minutes, Sam George, yesterday. And out of the 5 hours, 10 minutes, they questioned him 3 hours. So he spoke less than those who were questioning him. You know, the star of any interview is the person being interviewed, the interviewee, not those who are interviewing the person. So I think that some individuals there at the vetting committee are trying to draw attention because they think it's a process of defending their political parties, but that is not the goal. The goal is to make sure that we get somebody who is fit for the position. And let me ask this question. Has anybody even failed in our vetting process before? Nobody. I've never seen anybody who goes there and then the committee will say that based on your qualification, you don't qualify for that position, so we failed you. It has never happened. So it means that most people have their way. The last vetting, I don't want to mention it, but somebody was asked about the meaning of aquaculture. A ministry that she was going to, lead, and she could not even define it. If I'm hiring somebody to help in my pharmaceutical company, and I ask you, what do you know about pharmacy? And you can't tell me what it means, would I hire you? I wouldn't hire you. So if you look at the 5 hours, 10 minutes of St. George being interviewed, the questions that they asked him, most of them were irrelevant. Again, I need to educate people because I'm a leadership professor. You see, in the advanced world, you cannot even ask somebody, how old are you? When you are interviewing them, because of ageism. Age is something some people, it causes what we call umbrageousness. People are easily offended in some cultures when you ask them about their age, their religion, and stuff like that. So there's a way of asking. The law says that you have to be 18 years before you can work. So you are supposed to ask the person, are you 18 years and above? Don't ask them, how old are you? It is illegal to ask them, how old are you? But you can ask, are you 18 and above? Because the law says that if you are 18 and above, you can work. You are not supposed to ask somebody, are you married? With how many kids do you have? Somebody was asked and he said he has 10 kids. Is that necessary? Does that add to anything that the person is coming to do? I never heard any question being asked about digitization. I never heard any question being asked about innovation. I never heard any question being asked about his competency, but his secondary income. What are somebody's secondary income and the travel itinerary that he used to go to, London to do his PhD? What has that got to do? If you doubt that he holds a PhD or that degree,
the master's,
then the master's degree, then ask about, you need proof of it. And now you can even send, information to the university. The next day you have it. GTech has been doing that to recertify people's, qualifications. So some of these things, I think that there's a lot of noise going on in our parliament. And like I said, our kids are watching. And then they are not asking questions about the competencies of the individuals in what they are coming to do, but rather they are going too personal.
Very worrying.
Very worrying. It's very personal. And they should go to the technicalities of it, of asking you, what do you know about digital technology? What do you know about innovation? What do you know about communication? How effective are you going to be? Because Ghanaians want to be educated about what the nominee is going to do for them. Not about their personal life and your secondary income and where you went to school. If you doubt anything, there are some things you can do behind doors. Give us your certificate, because just after the vetting, you still have a lot to do as a committee to investigate the background of the person before you give them the nod. And I think that process should be followed.
I see. Quite interesting. I think the summation of what Prof said, Mr. Bachman, is that the committee, in their bid to be inquisitorial, are being more petty and looking at non-relevant issues, while the questions that are needed to bring out the competence and the experience of the nominees are being pushed to the back burner. Do you also hold the same view based on your assessment so far?
Certainly. Roland, yesterday I was so much saddened. But at a point in time, I couldn't continue watching it.
Let me just hold on. We also have here Adele Ibn Sheikh Umar Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us, Adele. I wish you the best for a good session. Yes, you were saying. You were saddened.
Yes, I left the room. Because, Roland, I was thinking. That is why I even left the room. I mean, we have a country, a nation that is still suffocating under the ravages of the minorities' poor economic management.
When they were in government?
When they were in government.
Okay.
As we speak, we have to do Lala Sula. We have to beg for our debt to be
restructured.
To be restructured so that we don't pay what we're supposed to pay.
Lala Sulala.
Yes, that's what we're doing globally, all over the place.
Cap in hand begging.
And what pains me, Roland, we are talking about a country that is the largest producer of gold in Africa. 6th in the world. We have 195 countries in the world. Our country, Ghana, is the 6th largest producer of gold in the world. 2nd largest producer of cocoa in the world. 5th largest producer of manganese in the world. 11th largest producer of bauxite in the world. Talk about salt. We are 2nd after Senegal in Africa. I mean, you have a country like this, and a country that has become so poor. Look at the paradox of our situation. A country so rich, yet so poor. And we elect people to go and discuss issues that would ensure the forward march of our nation towards economic prosperity. And this is what they give us in return. People that we employ, by voting for them to represent, we employ them. We pay them with our taxpayers' money. Then they go and do this despicable, unconscionable behavior.
Despicable?
Yes.
Unconscionable?
Yes. I mean, why? I mean, and I was asking myself, what was Afenyomakin trying to achieve? What was his motivation? Ghanaians have rejected you. The same issues on which Ghanaians rejected you. You've gone to resurrect all those issues again, as if you're going to court sympathy with Ghanaians. Ghanaians are not ready to sympathize with MPP at this stage because we are still suffering from the effect of their misgovernance and mismanagement of the economy.
No honeymoon for them.
No, so I was, I mean, I think it's a friend. If I were in Ogasco, it was my juniors in Ogasas. If I let me put it on record, I was one of the few people who, in fact, inspired him in politics. And he would testify to that. And I was so disappointed. I mean, what was he trying to achieve? And I don't blame him. Why should you have a system? And I've been questioning the kind of wisdom that went into the decision to give a blank check to a ranking member, that he can ask unlimited questions. I mean, what kind of...
Perhaps it's because the chair of the committee, Bernard Ahiafo, who is also a deputy speaker, according to what the criticism is, has been very weak and feeble.
Yeah, but no. Why do you...
Would that be a good argument?
Because he said... Bernard said... There is they have a rule to follow, and according to the rule, the ranking member should be given unlimited time or unlimited questions. I mean, does it make sense at all? Does it make sense? So if he decides that he's going to ask 1,000 questions, he should be allowed to ask 1,000 questions. The same person, somebody, Greater Accra regional minister came, no question.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. And what kind of nation are we building? And what kind of democracy are we building? And the danger is that some of these things, if you don't nip them in the bud, and they continue to, rear their ugly heads like the way it has started. Look at their numbers. And let me send this word of caution to the NDC. Ghanaians have handed to you unprecedented mandates with astounding majority. Never in the history of this country. If they don't make good use of it, Ghanaians are watching. Next time, if you don't use what you've been given...
You mean they are not living up to the billing?
Oh yes, Ghanaians expect them to exert or exhibit that
power they've been given.
So if you sit down for some of these things to happen, next time Ghanaians will question whether they will have to give you that kind of mandate again. For me, they should let the MPP people feel that they are minority. In fact, they are whether they are micro minority or they are infinitesimally macro minority. They have to make you feel like that. That is what Ghanaians voted for. So they will have to be made to feel like that in Parliament. If it becomes possible, they have to do without them. They should do without them. They were given 8 years. Look, some of the questions they were asking were very annoying. As if they have never governed this country before. Just few months ago, you were the ones
like
governing.
Which questions?
I mean, about development. What will you do to make this better? What will you do to make this better? As if when they had 8 years, they never thought of making anything better. I mean, they should give us a break. MPP must give us a break. It is getting too much. Now, I'm beginning to think that in MPP now, there's no leadership. Because if there's really leadership in MPP, he'll be called to order and he will be asked to do the right thing. What he's doing is rather annoying people.
Because they have a chair, they have various... they have a party secretary. They also have various
but obviously,
people in leadership positions.
Obviously, they are not.
You take a look at that. The criticism against the leadership of the NDC in Parliament, foremostly, is that they look to be weak, not exerting the power they've been given. You look at what the clarion call is, and they also looks like there is a certain posture to be able to compromise when the power has been given to you to be exerted. Would you say these are the sentiments at the rank and file within the party and then also outside as you come in to have an observation on what has transpired.
Roland, let me say a good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
My senior, my senior brothers, and to say that after the elections, I was on hibernation small, and this is my second show for the year. I was on Joy Prime on Wednesday, and I just want to tell the fans, my fans, that I'm back on set. Roland, having said that, so I've listened to Bachman, and I'd like to just pick up from where he nearly landed when he said that the NDC needs to exhibit, some strength and all of that.
You think they are wrong?
I think that, you see...
That your chair is weak, they say?
There's a thin line between showing, exerting force and exhibiting a certain level of, strength and being also tagged as arrogant. You see, the situation we have right now is that we have a party that just exited power. They have been arrogant. They have done these things Bachman is talking about. It's shown near a bow, you can't say anything, keep quiet. They've done all these things over and over. There are things that have happened that has led into the MPP going home. The NDC is forced to immediately try and transform and adjust to living between towing the same line or using a different line, but be firm. Be firm. I'll give you a typical example. So, like what Afenyo Markin is doing yesterday, what would generally happen is that then immediately some judge will probably get upset and go like, no, I've been no free buying.
Do you think he was provoking him?
You see, that's the idea is that, first of all, you have failed. And after you failed, now the same person that has failed is sitting in front of you, and then they say derogatory things to you. I remember the show that I had the last time. I had an MPP rep sitting there and then talking, and then, when the wind gets into our head and we get arrogant, and then maybe I'll tell him, you keep quiet, you're not coming back to power. These things have gone on back and forth for too long. My argument is that NDC communicators would have to, as much as possible, NDC appointees would have to, as much as possible, remember that the people that gave the mandate are not only the members that belong to the NDC. There are people in between there who are looking at everybody else. They are not party holders. They are not card-bearing members, but they actually give us the mandate. They want us to do something different. I mean, if we go back and toe a certain line, so for example, like Afenyo Markin yesterday, then people will start telling him stuff and then shut up, blah, blah, blah. Yes, no problem. You can do that. You can do all of that. But at the end of the day, what would happen is that people will now start saying, you see the arrogance. They are just 3 weeks in power. But we can be firm. Firm in the sense that if you say for whatever reasons that you are tired and you don't want to sit on the committee to continue vetting, go home. Nobody's sacking you. Go. There are other members on the committee who can actually continue the vetting if they want to. If you don't want to, in any case, at the end of the day, when everything is done and it comes to Parliament, we'll pass. It's not a place to fight. That arrogance and all of that, and that is why I have a problem with Afenyo Markin. And I said this yesterday when I went on Joy Prime, and I'd like to say it to him again. I mean, if he's watching, listen, you're that one person who said that you.
If you can refrain from mentioning other competitors, I think that for our editorial policy, you will be fair to us. Okay, please continue.
Okay, sure. But I'm saying that, you see, it is difficult to actually speak without actually mentioning him, because he's doing the questioning. Well, and if not, then the conversation will be very, very difficult because he is doing the questioning and he's asking questions. And whether you like it or not, you would refer to something he has said, like it or not. But I'm saying that in all of this, he should remember right from the time when he was talking about the fact that he cannot sit even on a minority chair, is spiritually blah, 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 and all the arrogance. This is the time for everybody to tone down. The MPP to tone down in the sense that you have failed. And because you have failed, you have to be extra humble and then allow the people to watch and allow us to be able to do the things that we have to do. The NDC, on the other hand, would also have to learn to, as much as possible, contain, because they would make you angry. They would say stuff. I mean, I'm trying to imagine me sitting here with maybe, a Tonto, or sitting here with anybody else from the MPP who now wants to talk about the fact that the NDC has failed in 3 weeks or 1 month. I would want to go back and raise all those issues.
So I'm being diplomatic. Because on our stream, for example, I have Emmanuel Afedison, who says that the NDC is just a weak political party.
They call on a weak majority.
Okay, so let's say for instance, let's take it. Okay, no problem. Let's say the NDC is weak. What would they have us do? Send in military, come to the vetting committee, carry a final mark and everybody and take him out. I'm saying that some of those things are the same things that we have sat on platforms, and that is why John Dramani Mahama is saying that arrogance and disrespect will not be one thing that would actually be countenance in this governance. Then what makes us different? What is the difference then? I mean, if all of us have sat down on TV stations, on radio stations, and we have indicated that certain things that people did in the past, from Captain Koda, and they are seizing people's property, and they are beating people, and then everybody, and Randy Abbey is complaining, and then Randy is on show, and people enter his studio, and all of us sit here and say it is totally unacceptable, right? Right? We say it's unacceptable. Okay, then we want to do the same. Because you see, anything less than that, then people will continue to say you are weak. And you see, people are also filled with vengeance. Ronald, don't forget that. People are filled with so much vengeance because they feel that this government that has just passed has done so many things that they need to be actually dragged to hell if we have to. So there is that edge, there is that eagerness to catch people, punish people, do stuff. But you see, when leadership is given to you, you are sitting at the head of affairs. You're the one that sees everything that goes on. That is not to say that the John Dramani Mahama you've seen today is a weak man. No! As much as he's being kind, as much as he wants to follow the process, the people that need to be dragged to the places that they have to be dragged will be dragged. And I am saying that on the appointments committee, they will continue to do the things like my senior brother said. Some of the questions are just ridiculous. It doesn't even make any sense. In fact, it has no bearing on the work the person is going to do. And the issues that really matter were left behind the scenes.
So like when we jump to, for example, he's a regular friend on Facebook. Schofield Ali Sabit says, brother Adel Ibn Shakumar, the truth is that we've been soft. Let's react to this nonsense, so to speak. That's what he says. But what's the middle ground? Trying to accommodate some of these excessive inquisitions and then leading to distraction of tables in Parliament, exchange of words, provocative words, etc., and then saying that that's part of the vetting process at this point in time. Is that what trying to find the best material as they are nominated by the president to fill ministries?
I'm trying to. Good morning to our
good morning. Your own commentary so far.
I'm trying to place your question in a certain context. That the president would have to pick people from, according to the law, from Parliament. And in picking them, he needs to know their character, right? And if this is the character they are showing, is it right for the president to pick people like that? Is that where you're heading for? Is that what you mean?
I'm asking if that should be the way.
Well, what does the Constitution say? It's the Constitution that determines where the president should pick his appointees from. But let me add something to what my brother said on the salt. Yes, Ghana is behind Senegal, but the crystals that Ghana has is much better than the crystals than Senegal. Yeah. So we have a much better price for our salt than Senegal does.
Both domestic and industrial
Both domestic and industrial salt. Now, gross disrespect. First point of call, the parliamentarians have not respected Ghanaians.
One side or both sides?
Both sides. The parliamentarians are not there because they are handsome, because they are beautiful, because they have brains in their head, because they don't have brains in their head. They are there because of the people of Ghana to serve. And it looks as if they haven't learned from the debacle of 2020. That is the most painful part of all. And it looks as if it is a place of entitlement. We've been voted for, so it is our entitlement to do whatever we want to do. It is wrong. Very wrong. It's gross indiscipline, it's ludicrous, it's disrespectful, absurd, and preposterous for them to act the way they were acting yesterday, unfortunately. Even to the point of fisticuffs. They are the ones who were asking the nominees their profession, didn't they? And you got this degree in this, you got this degree in... most of the parliamentarians there, do they not have degrees? Are most of them not lawyers? That, at a point when the time was going, because you see, one thing they should remember is that they are vetting people where Ghanaian public too is watching. So the time duration should be structured. I stayed in the office till 11 yesterday just watching because I didn't want to miss anything, especially when I knew it would be a discussion for this morning. People have to sleep and wake. There has to be a time limit on it. And why do they keep putting more people in to be vetted? They were supposed to vet 3.
No, yesterday, Samukujetu was supposed to have been added. I think it's the long hours.
No, they added. Originally, it was 3 people. Then they added. They added that, I think, 5 or 6 people. And the time was going. Why? Was there a particular reason? Had the president put some challenge on them to finish the vetting quickly? Was that what it was? Why would they vet people for so long a duration? Because look, human beings, after a while, you lose concentration. After a while, your body faculties go into a certain kind of way. You are not as fresh morning when you get to night. That's why we go to sleep, isn't it? For the body to rejuvenate itself. Why did it go for so long? But I would have thought if they wanted to stop, and NDC wanted to go on, and MPP wanted to go on, shouldn't it be leadership going into conclave? Couldn't the chairman, couldn't the ranking, couldn't Dafia Mapo, those leaders there, couldn't they tell the people of vetting, we need to go into conclave to discuss a few matters. Go and discuss it and then come back and tell us. Couldn't they have done that? That they had to exhibit what they exhibited on the floor of Parliament? Was that right? And I asked the question, and my brother, I'm not sure whether it was Prof or, I think it was Prof, when I indicated, and correct me if I'm wrong, when I indicated, do the laws of this country, do they apply to Parliament? Do they? Or it's only...
They apply in relation to the Constitution as indicated, and then also the standing orders.
Are the laws higher than the standing orders? Law of the country standing higher than standing orders?
Yes. The Constitution is supreme.
Okay. So, was the police there?
What's your point?
Was the police there? Did you see the police there? Was there criminal damage to property? Yes. Okay, so let me go to the law. And it says, in Ghana, the destruction of public property is considered a criminal offense under the Criminal Code 1960, Act 29. Specifically, Section 172, and listen to this, righteous damage to property. This section makes it an offense to intentionally or recklessly cause damage to public or private property during a riot or disturbance. So let me ask the question. Was this intentional?
Sure.
The damage that happened there, was it intentional?
Sure.
Okay, I'm applying the law. Yeah. Was it intentional? Yes. Was it reckless? Yes. Why doesn't the law apply to them? Why can't they be arrested?
So where lies the principle of equality before the law?
Well, in Article 117, you find that civil or criminal process coming from any court or place of Parliament shall not be served on or executed in relation to the Speaker of Parliament or the Clerk of Parliament while he is on his way to or attending at or returning from any proceedings to Parliament.
We are talking about criminal damage.
I do understand.
Yes.
And so when
criminal
the action will have to be undertaken, as
criminal
you get to
damage
invoke criminal proceedings, etc., it has to go through the processes.
I understand all that. Are their laws bigger than the country's laws?
Simply no.
Are they bigger than us?
No, but
the
their
people of Ghana.
processes.
Aren't we supposed all to abide by the law of this country? Aren't we?
We are too.
The speaker should look at these laws. And let me ask a question. Why aren't they using the same standard for everybody?
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
You mean for the nominees?
Why aren't they using the same standard for everybody?
I talked about that.
Explain.
You interview someone for 5 hours. You interview someone for 4 hours. And you interview someone for 10 minutes.
6.
Whatever the case is. 10 minutes, let's give them 10 minutes.
It's not fair, it's not balanced.
I mean,
What's the standard? What's the standard? Oh, we know you. Oh, we know you.
we don't have any problem with you. As for you, we don't have any problem with you.
Wait. What is the reason for vetting? What are they trying to achieve for vetting? Did you watch the vetting of RK, is it RKF or RFK, the Kennedy guy? Did you watch it? You see how they drilled him? Some of the questions they asked.
The works and housing.
No, the health minister in America.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
The kind of questions they ask, is the kind of questions our nominees are asking.
We are joking here.
The Senate committees drilled
They
them.
drilled them.
And about what you did in relation to the
Exactly.
position you're
They even asked about a book he had written and earned $5 million out of it. I didn't have anything wrong with Afenyo Marking asking my good friend George, Sam George, with regards to funding. The moment Sam George told him that it was private, he just ended it there. Don't go any further.
I don't understand. Are you trying to say that Afenyo is trying to be vindictive?
No. Because I think what Afenyo was trying to bring out was to make it clear that he did not use, because he was still in government, he did not use government money to go and educate himself. That was the way I read it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But that is what the inference I got from that question. But some of the questions were irrelevant. You cannot use vetting to now
settle
political scores.
Playing of the video?
Yes, for what?
I see.
The people of Ghana have said to you, hey, Mumko, we don't want you in... I mean, the vote explained itself why we don't want you. So why do you bring it back up? Or what? They're trying to satisfy President Akufo-Addo to show him that, you are fighting for you. President Akufo-Addo is old school now. What he's done is what he's done. He came, he's done his best. His best went, for Ghanaians. So why are you going back there? Now, look.
You need water?
Look, I don't need water because I don't tend to understand why these things happen. So yesterday, after all this, when they got home, what did they tell their children?
I don't know. After midnight.
Whatever the case.
Oh, you mean after what their behavior they put up there?
When they got home and they opened their front door, and their teenage son was watching, they asked, Daddy, Mommy, what went on in Parliament?
Akwabo.
Will they say, oh, don't mind them? Is that what they will say? We were showing them that we also have power. Is that the meaning of being in Parliament? Because you see, right now, Anodompre has vindicated Emefa Hardcastle.
The lawyer,
yes.
CEO, Petroleum Company.
Yes.
Because the accusation was recorded silly.
Yes.
Are you saying that the silliness was exhibited?
Did we not
truly?
hear? Did we not hear? When you played the video, did you not hear? What did he say? What was that for? You see, what really hurt my heart was afterwards when I saw the damaged microphones and the table legs being broken and having to carry the table out. Yet yes, can you. So it means you don't respect the Ghanaian investing in Parliament. Do you know how much those tables cost? Do you know? So I expect, in conclusion, I expect the Speaker of Parliament to refer all of them to the Privileges Committee. And I expect the Privileges Committee to exert punishment on any of the MPs there who are found guilty. They should be suspended for a certain duration of time to show them that the fact that the people of Ghana have put you there doesn't mean you can act any way you want to act. Period.
You know, the Constitution does indicate that subject to the provisions of this article, without prejudice to the general effect of Article 115 of the Constitution, civil or criminal proceedings shall not be instituted against a member of Parliament in any court or place out of Parliament for any matter or thing brought by him in or before Parliament by petition, bill, etc. I mean, we're speaking in these general terms in relation to the distractions, this time not caused by people in the public gallery or just ordinary Ghanaians, but an unruly behavior exhibited time and over again, and this time even constantly captured on television over the years, for which it looks like there's immunity, but at the same time there's an unruly behavior that sets bad example, sets bad precedents, and even forward-looking for the present is just not good enough a behavior for a member of Parliament voted into that house.
I think that is...
So what should we do?
Roland, somebody just sent me a message that, Prof, teach them civility,
Okay.
composure, emotional intelligence, and then temperament. And if you look at what is happening there, it's not civilized. Leaders are supposed to model the way. And what they are doing, they are not modeling the way. So they should look at that because they represent, in fact, if you're looking at the true voice of any democratic dispensation, it is Parliament. So they should model the way for Ghanaians to see that they are matured and they can handle their emotions, because emotional intelligence is very important. How to handle your own feelings and the feelings of others. It is not about being feisty, but it's about talking about the issues, vetting the individual. When we talk about composure, you know, somebody will really test your resolve, but you need to compose yourself, and we can always agree to disagree agreeably. In fact, the best philosopher in France, Voltaire, said that judge a person by the quality of their questions, not the quality of their answers. And you can see clearly that most of the questions being asked are not quality questions. And I agree with Mr. Gentua when he talked about standardization. We don't have any benchmark for judging these individuals. For some weird reason, the three of us sitting here are all left-handed.
Four.
The four of us.
Including him.
See, we are all left-handed. And we are not standardized in a way. But it is important for you to make sure that you are asking the right questions so that we get the right answers. But if you are asking 3 hours questions, and then the individual is responding 2 hours, it means you've spoken more than the person that you wanted to, you know, vet. It doesn't make sense anyway. So it's not about fault finding. So they are not a fault finding committee. They are supposed to vet them to find a fit through fairness and honesty and transparency. That is the first thing. The second one is that it's not about dealing with someone squarely. So they think that I'm going to deal with you. And my brother here was talking about the way NDC is handling the things. MPP is thinking that we are a strong minority and NDC is a weak majority. That is why some people are calling. Most of your listeners are saying that NDC should show strength. One thing that I do when I'm teaching and I show my student, I'll call one of the students to come up front and say that, can you walk confidently for everybody to see? And then they will do their confident walking. And then I'll call them back and say, can you walk arrogantly? And then they will do the arrogant walking. And then I will ask them, pair them to discuss between the two. Somebody who is confident and somebody who is arrogant. There's a clear difference. When people lack words and wisdom and intelligence, they begin to insult and fight. I'm currently on page 5 writing a book on wisdom and leadership. By March, it will be ready. I've written 10 books. You talk about Kennedy being vetted and he was asked about a book. There are some books that I've written in US only on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Even the publishers, I don't have access to the book as an author. They will have an agreement with you and then they will sell it as a textbook to investors. All that I get is my commission every month. So there are many ways people have income. If you doubt somebody's income, just call them privately and talk about that. Because you know in our country there's a culture that some people even don't want people to see that they have a business or other things.
So you need to respect the culture, because culture will eat strategy for breakfast. We need to respect the way people's privacy is. If somebody have 10 kids, has that got to do anything with vetting them about their competency or their job as a regional minister?
So you're saying some of the questions are grossly
irrelevant. 65% of the questions being, asked are irrelevant. Go straight to the point. Have a time limit of 2 hours. Somebody was supposed to be vetted at 9 a.m. That was Sam George yesterday. When did it start? Okujato was 1 p.m. When did it start? There were some other people who were supposed to be vetted. They came and they told them to come the next day. Now, don't forget that they are coming with a lot of people, chiefs, queen mothers, a lot of people. You will feed them. If you are not able to be vetted and they are staying, you have to find a hotel accommodation for them. That is an extra burden of cost to these nominees. Meanwhile, they've not been appointed yet. They don't even have a job yet until you give them a job. And they are starting with a debt. And that should be watched. So I think that there should be decorum at our parliament. The feistiness, the trying to show that I will show you where power lies, that I want to show to be relevant, it's not important. What Ghanaians want to know is they want to be educated about, the competency of the person based on education and then work experience, and how that is going to fit into the job and how they are going to improve their lives. And we should concentrate on that moving forward.
Mr. Bakma, at the end of the day, would you describe the posture and character of the minority leader and the unfettered access that he has to ask unlimited questions as a means of perhaps the compromise they've come to with the leadership of the NDC side, and as a result of that, that is perhaps disrupting the ideal proceeding that the Ghanaian will want to see at this vetting committee?
No, Roland, I've already made my views known on the fact that it doesn't make sense to give any person unlimited time.
Even if it's a compromise?
No, it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the kind of wisdom that went into that decision. Because to what end would somebody have to ask questions without limit? To what end? And so, blank checks are not supposed. Blank checks are not meant for everybody. There are people who don't deserve blank checks because of their nature. Probably they are.
You abuse it.
Yeah, they are loquacious, and so they would want to speak for everybody to know that they are also in the room, and all that. So for me, moving forward, Roland, the critical issue is, so what do we do moving forward as a nation? Because we've all condemned this, but we can't stay with the condemnation. We have to proffer solutions. What should be the way forward? For me, that is what is important. And I believe, and I've been thinking that, and I want to believe that it is not for nothing that this despicable act coincided with the inauguration of the Constitution Review Committee. The committee was inaugurated also yesterday. So now, these are some of the things the committee would have to be looking at. Should you consider Mr. Alenchamantin's proposal of second chamber?
Aren't we being just more bureaucratic?
Second chamber that will be in charge of some of these things. Because if we are going to have a situation where people will want to, set a political score. If you listen to Afenyo Maken yesterday, he told one of the nominees, he said, as for you, I think Kofi Adams also, he said, as for you, don't have any problem with you.
So they have problem with Sam George.
So that should tell you the kind of... Yes. So I am thinking that if we can look at the possibility of having a second chamber that can be responsible for some of these things, so that people with independent mind, people with expertise would ask the salient questions that pertain to the office that is going to be given to you, not unnecessary questions sometimes.
How do you know the politicians won't infiltrate that chamber?
No, but
how do you know?
That will infiltrate that chamber?
Yes.
Of course.
Do you think that's the solution?
No,
I
mean,
we will talk about that when we come to the constitutional review, because that's part of it.
Yeah.
The
It's a very complicated issue that I have to explain how even the U.S. system works with the Senate and then the House, and how
they have it all together.
But so the point is that even with this, what they are doing, if you are going to maintain this one, I would suggest that yes, you need to structure the questions. I mean, if the questions are going to be structured within a certain template, that you ask questions on competence, on background, on experience.
Just one page format of questions.
Yes, policy, policy, your vision, so that you don't go beyond or outside.
We're talking about your wife, your travels.
Yes. Two, if it will be possible.
The things you wrote on social media.
Yes. If it will be possible, Parliament can consider inviting experts to be part of the vetting process.
I like that idea.
So we are interviewing somebody on energy, somebody who wants to be energy minister. We need some experts, 2 independent or 3 independent experts to be part of the panel, so that they can ask the needed questions. If this is going to be, if our vetting process is going to be just a formality, that you just have to come and sit there and answer questions about the food you ate in the morning before coming to the vetting, or where will you sleep in the evening, then what are we doing as a nation? We should be serious, because we are talking about governance, serious issues that can affect people's life. Some people die because of decisions of politicians. People go hungry, they don't eat the whole day because of decisions of politicians. So why should we play game with it as if it is something normal, something that anybody can play with it and go scot-free? Another thing, when Oliver was hauled before the...
Oliver Bakavomo.
Yes.
Okay.
When he was hauled before the committee, I like the fact that he was made to apologize. But why was Afenyo-Markin not made to apologize to him for saying that it is notoriously known that he's an NDC person, when the guy is not an NDC person? Why did he not apologize to him for also saying to the whole country that the guy belongs to the NDC fraternity? When in actual fact, the guy said he's a CPP man. He's been voting CPP ever since. Why was he not asked to apologize to Oliver? Is it the case that if you're MP, you're a special citizen, and so you should be treated with a special kind of law or rules and regulations? I mean, where lies the issue of the principle of equality before the law? I mean, we should be very clear on some of these issues, and I'm happy these things are happening while we are having this Constitution Review Committee. These are some of the things that you have to consider. You have to consider. so that
some of these consideration will have to be made. Adele, so where do we move to now? Constitution Review Committee again to look at the two sessions that have been done by the Commission and then the committee from the last, and then also some of the things we're noticing that on this table we're being told that we need to be tweaked so that everybody will be equal before the law.
Right. Roland, before I jump straight into that, I just want to take 2 minutes to clear something. So I heard Prof again indicate the issue of that thin line between arrogance and being confident. See, there's one thing that I've learned over the years, which is the fact that you look at your audience, you look at the people that you're dealing with, you look at their level of understanding. If you take Ghana and you put it on a platform, you would know that you have certain people within a certain class. You have the middle class and then you have the lower class. I can tell you on authority that if you want to handle everyone with the same note, it won't work. Prof perhaps understands that there's a thin line between arrogance and confidence. If he picks people today and even places them in front of the classroom in the university class and you ask them to tell you the difference between the two, trust me, a lot of students will have problems being able to identify the two. People don't even understand what it means. I'm saying this on the basis that if you're not careful in your quest to try to be extremely tough, it will be considered as being arrogant. Looking at the situation and the circumstances we find ourselves in, I can smile with you and take you to jail without necessarily slapping you first. Doesn't reduce anything. So, doesn't change anything.
So your option is Kofi Annan style?
I am saying that Professor Jantua makes a case this morning.
Not mosaic.
Says that break the legs of tables. Break this, break that. Okay, they've done it, they've broken it. No? Let's proceed from there. There's an attorney general. There are police officers available. Let's proceed from there. While you're smiling, while you're dealing with the issues, you're punishing people. This is where the NDC needs to look at. We don't need to fight for me to punish you. I don't need to fight you to punish you. No. So we just have to make sure that the right things are done. The people of Ghana are counting on us to do certain things. We came into office with only 5 hours of fuel. Do I really have time to come and sit with you and argue about you broke a table, you didn't break a table? Let the Constitution work. When you go there and you're arrested and you're dealt with, while I am concentrating on how to build schools, while I'm concentrating on how to get electricity, while I'm concentrating on how to make sure that things are done properly, no one should be left off the hook. But you see, the moment you do it with a certain level, then people start to look at it as vindictiveness, like you're being vindictive, you're doing it's vengeance and all of that. And well, listen, I stated something earlier on. I'm saying that this country is very, very porous. Is it fair that people feel that sense of vengeance? Is it fair? To a certain extent, it's fair. Roland, if you catch me and you put me, I know, I'm coming. If you catch me and you put me on the floor, Roland, and you hit me, you stab me, you do self-defense, and I couldn't, and for whatever reasons, I have an opportunity to catch you in a corner somewhere, I probably would want to do something to you. But you see, the strong person is not that one person that when you get angry, you catch Roland and you break his head and say, oh, I'm strong. No. The strong person is the one that when he gets angry, he's able to still hold to calm. Allow that 60 seconds to pass. Let his brain start working and then take a right decision as to what the next step should be. This is what it is. And John Dramani Mahama has told you that, listen, we will deal with the people the way we have to deal with them. We will deal with them the way they ought to be done. And I'm calling on all appointees. I'm calling on the police service. I'm calling on the military. I'm calling on His Excellency himself to make sure that the right things are done. But can we do this in a different way? Yes, we can. That has to do with that. Now, I'm not on prayer and Emifa, and I want to use this one to set an example. So she says something to him, he's upset. And then, it's all over the place. Oh, Emifa hasn't tried, she's this, she's that. You see, the reality of the case is that she was matured enough, after that entire process, to walk up to him and say, I am sorry. She did that. And that closes everything, regardless. When he, at a point in time, insulted His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and he was told to apologize, what did he say on social media? He said, why should he apologize? That tells you the difference between the two, in terms of even maturity. She apologized. She said, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I may have had it wrong. I'm sorry. It ends there. But look at him. Even as much as she has apologized, he was still in Parliament and still talking like he was just there and then complaining. Men don't do that. So at the end of the day, she would have gone in there and said, oh, I'm sorry. The issue is probably about to, come to end. Look at what he did yesterday. And now everybody else is looking at him. So while you're fighting me, you're making all the noise. I'm sitting there, I'm watching you. You do all of that, and when you're done, who now becomes the silly one? Yes, Backman. And then you deal with the issues the way that you have to deal with it. I am of the view that the NDC will do things differently. Those who have to be punished will be punished. No two ways about it. In fact, Roland, I'll be the first person to sit here and call on the Attorney General, call on the police, call on whoever matters, that people that are perceived to have done certain things are dealt with in the manner they have to be dealt with. No forgiveness, no mercy when it comes to that. But in our daily engagements, can we do things a bit differently? Certainly we can do some things differently. So that at the end of the day, we will not come here and say, because don't forget that the moment you give an inch, Backman, the moment you allow an inch, it will turn into something else. It will now come into the time where we will now start entering studios. So I can go and enter, Kenya Japan's studio because someone was sitting there and said something I didn't want, and then we just beat him out. What is the difference?
Talking about lawmakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not disputing, but that is why I'm saying that they have done certain things. It is.
This is
Right, Jantua is your uncle.
It's someone I admire so much.
Right, Jantua is your uncle.
Yeah.
He's all of us are uncle. Let me add this.
I admire him so much.
Prof.
Uncle.
That's why you call him uncle.
Yes, that's what I call him.
Prof. So in the situation of what happened yesterday, And these are honorable men and all of that. Imagine if the military or the police had tried like an immediate arrest within that period. Then this one attacks that attacks that, it gets a bit chaotic.
No, that's not what we are asking for.
No. The strength we are talking about is not physical strength.
Yes.
What?
We don't mean
There are
physical
standing
strength.
orders, the privilege committee, the speaker.
No one is listening. You find yourself in
Leaders in the house.
I'm not disputing. I'm saying you find
make laws, and
there
if
is
you can't
chaos.
obey the laws you are making,
I'm not
then
disputing.
who obey the laws?
I'm saying that
the game you are playing is a game of perception.
no two ways. That
When
is
you
why
are perceived in a certain light, it can affect you.
Okay.
In the next
Mr.
election.
Bachman, let me ask you. So far, from the way the NDC leadership in Parliament have behaved, does it, for the optics, give the indication that they've been given power and they're weak?
Now, you see, I don't need to tell you. Go on social media, the same social media that people monitored to know their strength and to know how they were faring. Go to the social media and go and read things there.
The comments, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lawyer Jantua, so where do we move now? We're supposed to, if you look at Article 78, the president appoints people from Parliament, etc., and then the same parliamentarians are
That
the
should stop.
ministers.
After the constitutional review,
they are
that should
ministers,
stop.
they come
No
before their
minister should
colleagues,
come
they are
from
being
Parliament.
grilled, etc. You look at some of these
71,
amendments we
right?
want for the Constitution.
No, 78.
The independent bodies that are inherent in the Constitution as named, they are appointing authorities, the president, and so we have all these to be looked at by the review committee. Should some of these lessons that are being learned over the years take perhaps center stage when they are reviewing what needs to be done to change or amend this Constitution?
First of all, let me give you a quote by Mark Twain. And he says...
Mark Twain,
yes.
The writer?
Yes, he says, that's the difference between governments and individuals. Governments don't care, individuals do. So we are sitting here, we care. Parliament, did they care? Talking about the Constitution. First of all, they would have to review all the different reviews that have been made since 2012. I have the document.
The bulky one from the commission.
998-page bulk one. I have it. They will have to look at the former leader's one he did. That was Chairman Sabunsu. They'll have to look at all those, and I'm sure in all these, some of the things that are happening today are already in there. The question, after all this is done, can they implement it? Will there be enough time to implement changes in the Constitution? This is a typical example where criminal damage has happened in Parliament. Because Parliament is insulated, they can't be arrested. You read it in the Constitution. Yes. Those are some of the things they should look at, because nobody's above the law. Nobody whatsoever is above the law in this country. You do wrong, they come after you. Did they not take Trump to court? Is Trump not a former president? Now he is a president. Obviously, when he comes into power, he will do the things that will satisfy him, absolve, that we've seen even here in some of the cases that have gone on for 8 years. The government says, nolli prosequi, we are not interested in
but
it
even the
anymore.
US, they've set it way before Trump examples in the Watergate scandal, where Richard Nixon, the US
we should amend the indemnity clause. Indemnity clause in our Constitution, we should amend it.
You see, the people need to have confidence in the Constitution. The Constitution shouldn't be a book of words that politicians hide behind. And in so doing, the people should be educated as to what is in the Constitution and what the rights of the people are. Unfortunately, not a lot of people understand the Constitution. I expect the Constitutional Review Committee to break the Constitution down to the barest minimum. The way you have the Bible in different languages, we should be able to do that for our country. Because you see, where we are going to and how we are going, look at our politics now. Look at the way we are voting. Look at some of the things we are doing. Look at how we are gradually holding politicians to book. It goes to show we need to also make sure that politicians understand what these laws are to guide them forward. Because it will get to a point right now, looking at what's happening in Parliament. The entitlement thing you can see is there.
Entitlement.
Yes.
Some people feel more.
They feel entitled.
Arrogant.
They feel entitled.
And arrogated.
They feel they are better. Okay. The one who thing crowd tells you that.
One who.
Yes.
What's that?
Yes. You don't know one who is. Eh?
You make sure
when they sit in their vehicles and one who on the road, just because they feel we've been voted for, should they not go according to what every ordinary man is going to? Go to the UK. I remember once I was standing in Green Park waiting for a bus. You know who came to stand there? Lord Carrington. You know Lord Carrington? He's a peer in the British, upper house. He came. He jumped on the bus, went upstairs
with
and
you,
sat.
with the passengers.
With the passengers, everybody.
Lord Carrington.
Yes, Lord Carrington.
There was one time the mayor of London turned the prime minister was riding bicycles around London.
Go to London and see the prime minister, his office.
I said Lord Denning, the revered Lord Denning.
The jurist.
Yes, would ride a bicycle in Chancery Lane.
But is it not ironic
Chancery Lane.
We are the ones.
Revered Lord Denning.
Yes, the revered
so leadership is over-glorified in Africa.
So you see, the fact is that when you have leadership, that is when you should be humble.
Okay.
Roland.
No, your time.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes, you will come back. Don't worry.
So you look at the constitutional. The EC chair, for example, is appointed by the president. So, for example, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has appointed, after going through processes of removing Charlotte Osei, Jean Mensah comes in, and even for instances where questions are posed, in Ayawaso West Wogon, you organize the election. You don't think the security of the election should be important. He says, well, I'm not the one who provides security. And that person has security of tenure. And then also we have other independent bodies that are appointed by the president. And so you have even drilled down to the point where there were amendments where education heads across various districts are even appointed by the president. So it's almost like there's a certain opportunity for the executive to be able to hold everybody to some level of ransom.
So I expect wisdom, what some people call common sense, in the way we practicalize our constitution. Yes.
Fienyansa.
Yes, Kwame. You see, Kwame, where we have Fienyansa. If you go to any advanced country, they will tell you about the amendment. First amendment, the second amendment. The amendments are more important to them than the original law. Why? Because amendments are fixing current problems. As we keep growing as a society, from 1992 to now, how many years? The Constitution is outdated.
33?
33 years. If a child, you are 33 years and you are behaving like a child. So our Constitution is not fitting our needs now. For instance, the indemnity clause. That is why any military government, the first thing they take out is the Constitution. Because it binds everybody in the country, and if they don't take it out, then they will be executed. So we look at amendments. Is the president okay to go to court on any issue pertaining to leadership? We should allow that. Because leadership is nothing but a servant. So you are there to serve the people. And if you go wrong, why can't you go to court and defend yourself like any other citizen? So we'll look at the indemnity clause. Yes. I was thinking that we should also have a debate, on the term limit of those in parliament. If the president have 2 terms, then we can also look at that debate and test it to see that, do we need a term? Like, let's say 3 terms.
Why should we?
Because we have seen...
For example, Winston Churchill had been in Parliament.
I know, but we have a different culture. We have a different culture here.
Of entitlement.
That people are entitled, and when they go and they become the Mugabes of the house and they think that the experience, that is what is happening now at the veteran. Somebody think that I've been here for 12 years. You came, so I'm your senior, so I'm going to overtalk you when we are talking about issues of Parliament because I'm more senior here to you. So we should be looking at the culture, what is playing, the trend. And then we amend our constitution to that effect. We are also talking about how our leaders are supposed to behave. And one thing is about this separation of powers. So when we talk about separation of powers, the executive, the legislature, and then the judiciary, they are separate, and supposed to check the excesses of the others. That is why it doesn't make sense
to fuse the judiciary with the legislature. So no member of parliament should be an executive, should be a minister. You know, our problem is that we pick our constitution from the Westminster system, the UK system, which is the parliamentary system, and then we pick half from America, which is the presidential system, infuse them, and we are confused because none of them is our culture.
So we fuse them and now we are confused.
Yeah.
Even our chiefs, we've neglected them because they are part of our culture.
What do you want the chiefs to do?
You know, let me tell you one thing. Do you
According
know
to the
that
constitution, they're not supposed to be political.
they are not, but most of the chiefs are political. We have a culture here of about gift giving, that if you go to chiefs, you're supposed to give gift. Hasn't it transcended into our public life about gift demanding? People are demanding gifts instead of you giving the gift to them. Now they are demanding that if you don't give me money, I will not do what I'm supposed to do for you as a public servant. Is that not corruption? So we look at our culture and what we do, because those leaders there reflect the people, the Ghanaians. They reflect us. So we have to make laws that will limit, because anytime you give somebody more, power, responsibility become a problem. And accountability become a problem. So how do you balance it? You are giving them more responsibility, but how do you hold them accountable? And the power doesn't belong to them. It belongs to we, the people. That is why we are talking that we should make those amendments.
Professor Pukunchi, from what you're saying that inherently as a people, we have a socio-cultural problem.
You can't ignore it.
Our customs and tradition.
You cannot ignore it.
Okay, so it makes us already have a certain posture.
Yes.
And so when we want to adopt the democratic system for which we fused all in the constitution, we should also make those considerations.
That's true. Okay. Because if you go to the British system, the Westminster system, the majority party in parliament, which is, let's say, NDC now, the leader there become the prime minister.
Okay.
Ours is not like that. We are also infusing the presidential system. So we've picked two different cultures into our constitution and we've messed it up. And don't forget that when we were drafting this 1992 constitution, there were a lot of hullabaloo about people, the quality of even individuals who did that. He's a lawyer, he can tell you. We had carpenters, we had other people who came in there. Ghana National Association of Teachers.
Are you saying that somebody cannot have an university degree and be a...
No, that is not. You need
so
technical knowledge.
Okay.
If you're talking about leadership, I have technical knowledge. We talk about when we are vetting individuals to be ministers, we need the technocrats.
Okay.
To be part of
Everything should not be politics. Even our happiness in this country is determined by politicians. It shouldn't be so.
Our happiness
in this country.
So you're saying that Fenyo Maki and the way he's behaving is
when Joe Biden was leaving office,
I
like American culture. When Joe Biden was leaving, every president leaving will leave a letter on the Oval table for the upcoming president, and he said that lives of many citizens in the world lies in your hands. So I'm telling our parliamentarians that the lives of Ghanaians lies in their hands, and they should do well and behave in parliament.
Professor Opoku-Antwi, you take the last bite for us. Sorry, couldn't. Our time, because I'm told that Parliament is already up. Can we get some feed to get to know? But we also have cash out, *439#, *439#. You choose option 8. We have a mega jackpot today, so at least we'll do one draw to get to see what the trends are. I have a couple of you already sending messages. Eliza, I hope Eliza or Eliza Ignacio says that, in fact, what happened in Parliament is a shame to Ghana's democracy. Ni Atukwe says the NDC are warned and have been warned. If they don't deal with these hooligans, we will deal with them in the ballot box, you say. All right. Then we have Deli Agbanyagan. Good morning to you, Deli. Been a while. The parliamentarians involved from both parties should be arrested and be punished. In fact, they should pay for cost of repairs as well. This is unacceptable. Today, your panelists are making my day so far. Good wisdom being exhibited. And this one is coming from some great people as well. Maxwell Akpabli also says that the Honorable Bernard Ayafo's weakness and timidity is what has brought us to where we are today. If he had stood his grounds and be firm from the onset, Fenyo Maki and his fellow MPs wouldn't have gotten the chance to misbehave the way they did yesterday. Maxwell Akpabli sending us. And then also something sent on WhatsApp. So we'll take a look at... and then we also know that from our credible reports, we have our reporters on ground because we're ready to give you the live coverage. The damages have been fixed a day after, and vetting to take place at same venue, contrary to earlier alternative space, which was the Speaker's office. So now it's been fixed quickly. We're there, live, TV3, and then also 3FM, where you watch us live, also on our stream. And George Queenie will give us the latest, some few minutes to come. And then Mama War says, one word to describe what transpired yesterday is we, toffee. Roland, I can't just understand. Read this for me. He said I couldn't sleep. An important, we'll raise George on phone. Chairman Prosper. Good morning to you, Chairman Prosper. I wish you all the best for the day. And he says, read this again. I truly fear for the future of the NDC and the precedent these deliberate acts by Afenyo Markin is doing to the youth of the party. If they have to come forward to contest, to know that their posts on social media, etc., will be used against them when it is just politics and politicking. It looks as if the front runners who led the campaign to bring NDC to power in 2024 are being targeted in these vetting processes. With those who were not front runners, they are made to go scot-free. He says this will put fear into the youth and young people in future elections. Everybody will be afraid to fight for the NDC because they will feel intimidated when they come before such a committee like the appointments committee. Just look at how Apami, Abuja for Roads, Atosin, Omani Boamas, Sam George, and now Okujeto will be grilled and harassed by the appointment committee. Roland, this is not fair and should not be allowed by the chairman. Even campaign videos and posts on social media have been used. This kind of disrespect to the NDC leadership must not be entertained. The NDC leadership must stand up and show the people that they have a majority of 188 MPs and stop misbehaving. Chairman Prosper sending me this message. Charlie, you guys relax for me this morning. It's as if people are writing. This one, Chairman Prosper's bite. Elliot Ogbe says, it is time to put the MPP in their place as their act of hooliganism, uncultured behavior can no longer be tolerated. Their continuous attempt to disrupt government business must be stopped. I don't know whether this also falls in line with that. The idea is also an NDC. He says that everything is fine.
Roland,
is that not what you're saying?
You will just give me a second to say.
And then
something.
Murtala Muhammad just came before the appointment committee, and one of the comments that was made that the wife is very beautiful. I'm told as a Muslim, I'm not supposed to comment. If you're a Muslim, you don't have to comment. Very beautiful wife, Murtala Muhammad, honorable that you have, and we know that he's been nominated as. So it says the conduct of our friends in the minority at the appointment committee last night for me provides more justification why I consistently refuse to be addressed as honorable. I guess there's no honor in that title any longer. Comrade forever. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. Good morning to you. And then I'm giving enough time to read messages. So
was my junior in Lagos.
So
handled his well.
I mean, that is fantastic.
All right, so again,
Fantastic.
star 439 hash, star 439 hash. I don't know why when Adele comes, he does. Please take your phone, star 439 hash. Don't tell me you're a Muslim, because we have a Muslim head at NLA. You know, they control these things. Relax for me.
You know I have my own position on that.
Okay. No, we're not here to discuss that.
I know that.
And please make sure you stay on the stream, because we have a couple of messages coming in as well. So we're going to do our first draw. We'll get that ready. Engineer Chumbafo says, we don't need a second chamber and yet another bureaucracy to maintain with public funds, which will become infiltrated, intoxicated by the same political viruses that have made the vetting process a spectacle. Indeed, we already have a second chamber. That is the view of many Ghanaians, and which already is also draining the public purse. We'll see how that goes with that. Charlie, second chamber advocates. Prof, thank you very much for passing. Let's do our first draw. And first draw for cash out, star 439 hash. Choose option 8, very important. And well, for some of us who are broke, it also means that when we do this, we're able to get money to actually pay the school fees, offset the debt. Let's do the first draw. 4,000 Ghana cedis. We're ready. We're ready. Can we call the person? We'll call the person. Prof. Okay, so 0244 940. And Shadrach Abe, our lead producer for the morning, very astute young man. Make sure that editorially we're able to put everything together. Great guy, great guy, great guy. We'll do this on the prompter. You wanted to say happy birthday to somebody? No, not yet. Every time we eat, food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Now, brushing your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent charcoal and Pepsodent herbal toothpaste is the best. Now, Pepsodent charcoal is made of a fine blend of fluoride with a unique combination of natural charcoal, lemon, mint, and zinc to whiten your teeth, strengthen them, and also remove, for example, bad odor from your mouth. And charcoal white gently also polishes away tooth stains and naturally restores your bright smile. For herbal lovers, try Pepsodent herbal toothpaste, which is also infused with a unique blend of green tea and herbal extract, formulated to repair and protect your gums while giving an all-round cooling sensation. Now, Pepsodent herbal also releases, repairs, and also protects gum tissue while giving you strong teeth. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and then also before you sleep at night. Pepsodent has been educating Ghanaians on how to brush their teeth for the past 25 years. And that's a good public service. As also Pepsodent is recommended by the Ghana Dental Association. Pepsodent gives you the opportunity to talk to a dentist for free. And this is how you need to do that. You just have to call the toll-free number 0800-161-000 to talk to a dentist for free. You can get Pepsodent at any shop near you. We'll get ready to call some of our loyal viewers. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Roland. How are you?
Hey, you're ready. Loyal viewer of TV3 New Day.
I always get to the office around 9:30, 10 because of New Day.
Yeah, so from watching the morning discussion, the question, Johnny's Bites, then you look at big issues, right? What's your name?
Yeah. Joseph from Dansoman.
Joseph Dansoman, you our first proud winner for our mega jackpot. How much have you won?
Just won 4,000.
4,000 Ghana cedis. 4,000 Ghana cedis.
For the big jackpot.
No, this is the big jackpot. This is the first draw.
Oh, okay.
This is the first draw. You are the first winner. 4,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Great. Which part of Dansoman are you so that your relatives can quickly come?
Dansoman Control, not far from Pitcat Stop.
Okay, so Joseph is at Dansoman Control. I did ask of your surname. Do you care to share your surname so that your relatives will come, or you want to maintain it at Joseph?
No, I want to maintain it at Joseph.
You are a loyal viewer of TV3 New Day, but you are a bad man. Congratulations to you. 4,000 Ghana cedis going to you. As you dialed *439#, and we have this one also coming from Ejen Nkrumah Kwame Amos. I don't get it why the NDC members of parliament will stoop so low for that micro minority to behave as though they are overwhelming majority in parliament. Well, okay, 1 minute to you. We don't have the time.
Probably all of us to get 1 minute.
Roland, listen. So this is what the NPP is doing, and I just want our people to come to that understanding. Take it that we entered the studio. Cookie is standing on one side. She has a problem with maybe Bachman. Roland, you hold Cookie. You say Cookie, Jai. You know, all of us hold Bachman. Oh, Bachman, stop. But Cookie is the one that actually started it. Then Cookie is standing one side. Hey, you didn't go home. And then I'll bet my ear. You know, when she does that, it is supposed to make him extra angry for him to attack. This is what they're doing to us. And if we're not careful, they would bring us down to the grave. It's intentional.
Our proposition to have second chamber is to replace the Council of State.
No.
It's to replace the Council of State.
He says no second chamber for
right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat 2. I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
every step of life's unpredictable journey. Every moment counts. That's why you need a partner you can always trust for solutions, so you can be rest assured. Having impacted over 200,000 lives, processed over 4.2 million claims, partnered with over 400 corporations, paid out over 836 million Ghana cedis in claims, contracted over 1,600 healthcare facilities nationwide, and pioneered several innovations like free medicine delivery, an interactive mobile app, and more.